Welcome back to Superbly Said Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
Glad to be here for another session.
So today we're pulling our material directly from a SpeakDuo lesson. It's the one regarding hilarious Modern Family bloopers.
Oh yeah, that's a really fun one.
It is. And just quickly, you can go to SpeakDuo.com to meet new people from around the world on video calls to practice English and build confidence.
Right, because actually speaking is where you figure out how to handle the inevitable mistakes, which is exactly what we're analyzing today.
Exactly. We're skipping any other intro today. We are going straight into the advanced vocabulary analysis for English learners.
Sounds good to me. Let's dive right into the mechanics of mistakes.
Yeah, so concept one here is all about, well, we have three verbs that get mixed up a lot: to flub, to stumble, and to fumble.
Mm-hmm. And the nuance between them is huge.
Right, so let's start with the primary phrase from the source, which is to flub a line. F-L-U-B.
Yeah, to flub. It means to say a line wrong by mistake, often by, just inventing a weird word or a sound entirely.
Like the example in the lesson where someone makes up a word during a presentation and everyone just starts laughing.
Exactly. And the key thing I'd point out here is that a flub implies a very distinct error in a specific line. It's almost theatrical, right? You had a target word and you totally missed it.
It's a clean mistake, but then you compare that to stumbling over your words.
Right. Now, stumbling it's different. To stumble over means you're having trouble saying the words smoothly. It's usually because of speed, or maybe you're just really excited.
It's a rhythm break, like a trip.
Yeah, you didn't necessarily use the wrong vocabulary, you just lost your footing in the sentence. And then the third one is fumbling, to fumble the words.
Which sounds a lot more clumsy.
It is. It's like dropping a ball in sports. You're handling the vocabulary clumsily or unclearly. You don't have a grip on what you're trying to say.
So let's contextualize this for work. Imagine an employee rushing through a quarterly report to a boss.
Oh, high pressure. Okay.
Yeah. So if they say, the technological infrastructure, they are stumbling over the technical terms.
Right, because they're speaking too fast. But if they confidently say, our projected revenue is $5 instead of $5 million.
That is a flub. They flubbed the number entirely.
Exactly.
And if they just lose their place, start sweating, and give a completely incoherent explanation, they are fumbling the presentation.
This is also super relevant for IELTS speaking part 2.
Oh, definitely. Examiners love precise language.
So instead of just saying, I was nervous and made a mistake, a candidate could say, I was so excited to tell the story that I stumbled over my words.
Perfect. That shows incredible self-awareness in English.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to concept 2. This is mental blocks versus improvisation. Basically, to get tongue-tied versus to ad-lib.
This is a great comparison. State of being frozen versus the skill of flowing.
Right. So to get tongue-tied, the definition is to be unable to speak clearly because you're nervous or confused.
Like the source context mentions, getting stuck during introductions. Your brain just shuts down.
It's awful. You know their names, but your tongue literally feels tied in a knot. It's totally involuntary.
Yes, it's obstructive. But the counter to that is our other phrase, to ad-lib.
AD-LIB.
Right. This means to speak without a script, to improvise.
The example we saw was when someone's notes fail, so they just improvise the ending of their speech.
And the nuance here is that ad-libbing is voluntary. It's creative. You're choosing to flow without preparation.
So back to the workplace. Let's say your boss asks you a totally surprise question in a meeting.
A nightmare scenario for a lot of people.
Yep. Initially, you might get tongue-tied. You just freeze for a second.
But if you're a strong communicator, you recover quickly and manage to ad-lib a professional answer, even though you don't have any notes in front of you.
Exactly. You pivot from being tongue-tied to ad-libbing. It's a vital survival skill.
It really is.
What's next on the list? Concept 3 is the psychology of errors. We're comparing a Freudian slip to a facepalm moment.
Oh, I love these. They are so awkward, but so fun to analyze.
So a Freudian slip, the definition is a mistake that reveals what you really think or feel. It's from your subconscious.
Like saying, I can't wait for my deadline instead of I can't wait for my vacation.
Right. Your brain accidentally told the truth about how stressed you are,
But then we have a facepalm moment.
which is defined as a moment that is embarrassing or painfully silly. The source gives the classic example of ending a text to a coworker with, "Thanks, love you."
Oh, brutal. You just want to physically smack your own forehead.
Yeah, but let's clarify the nuance. Not every facepalm moment is a Freudian slip, right?
No, absolutely not. A Freudian slip is deeply psychological. It reveals the truth coming out. A facepalm moment is purely situational. It's just stupidity or awkwardness.
So a Freudian slip can cause a facepalm moment.
Right. Like if you accidentally call your boss mom.
Oh gosh, yeah, that is a massive Freudian slip because it reveals a subconscious dynamic. And it's also a facepalm moment.
But if you hit reply all on a private complaint about the coffee machine.
That's just a facepalm moment. There's no deep subconscious revelation there. Just a clumsy click.
Exactly. Pure cringe.
Which leads us nicely to concept 4, which is how we reflect on these errors. Humor and reflection. We have crack up versus a blooper reel.
Right. The physical reaction versus the historical record.
Yeah, so to crack up means to suddenly laugh a lot and lose control.
Like when you confidently say the wrong word, realize it, and just lose your composure completely.
Right, it's the immediate physical reaction in the moment. You crack up.
Whereas a blooper reel is a funny collection of mistakes and outtakes.
So it's metaphorical. You might describe a really terrible day full of errors as just being a total blooper reel.
Yeah, a blooper reel is what you get when you look back in hindsight at all the times you cracked up or flubbed a line.
Like at work, if colleagues are trying to record a serious video message for a client, but they keep messing up and cracking up.
Then the final result, the outtakes they save, that becomes a long blooper reel.
Perfect. All right, I think we've covered the nuances pretty thoroughly. It's time for the quiz.
Excellent. Let's see how well we can apply these.
Listeners, this is a test of the phrases we just discussed. I will read a sentence with a blank, and then we will provide options A, B, and C.
I'll read the options out loud for you.
We will repeat the relevant phrase options multiple times while reading the question to help reinforce your memory.
And pay attention to the context clues we talked about. Theatrical versus clumsy. Physical versus psychological.
Exactly. Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer. We will give you the answer minute for the warning.
Ready when you are.
Question 1. During the high-stakes theater production, the lead actor managed to blank, but he improvised so quickly that the audience never noticed the error.
Are the options A, fumble the words, B, stumble over lines, or C, flub a crucial line?
Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer.
The answer is C, flub a crucial line.
Right. Remember, flub is that distinct theatrical mistake we discussed, where a specific line is said incorrectly.
Exactly. Okay, question 2.
It is quite common for even native speakers to blank specific multisyllabic technical terms when they are speaking too rapidly during a lecture.
Is it A, ad-lib through all, B, stumble over certain, or C, crack up during?
Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer.
And the correct answer is B, stumble over certain.
Because stumbling implies that rhythm break or tripping over your words, usually due to speaking too fast, just like in the work presentation example.
Yep, spot on. On to question 3.
Many people tend to blank when they are suddenly put on the spot by a superior, making it difficult to articulate their thoughts clearly and concisely.
Would that be A, get quite tongue-tied, B, make a Freudian slip, or C, fumble through words?
Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer.
The answer here is A, get quite tongue-tied.
Yeah, getting tongue-tied is that involuntary freezing or inability to speak clearly when you're nervous or put on the spot.
Just like when you're introduced to someone and your brain goes blank.
Exactly. All right, question 4. Referring to his new boss by his ex-girlfriend's name was a classic blank that immediately revealed what had been occupying his subconscious mind.
Options are A, blooper reel moment, B, facepalm type event, or C, telling Freudian slip.
Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer.
This one is C, telling Freudian slip.
Right, the key clue there was the subconscious mind. It's a mistake that reveals a hidden psychological truth.
Definitely not something you want to do with a new boss.
No, certainly not. Question 5. The news anchor tried desperately to maintain a professional demeanor, but she couldn't help but blank when her co-host made a ridiculous face.
Is it A, ad-lib the report, B, completely crack up, or C, flub the next line?
Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer.
The answer is B, completely crack up.
Because she lost her composure. Cracking up is that immediate physical reaction of sudden laughter.
Exactly. Moving along to question 6.
The production company decided to release blank to show fans the more human and humorous side of the cast during the filming of the serious drama.
Is it A, a lengthy blooper reel, B, an improvised ad-lib, or C, a series of slips?
Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer.
It's the collection of those funny mistakes and outtakes viewed in hindsight.
Right. Okay, question 7.
When the teleprompter suddenly malfunctioned mid-broadcast, the experienced journalist was forced to blank the remainder of the segment.
Your options are A, fumble the speech, B, flub the message, or C, ad-lib the closing.
Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer.
The answer is C, ad-lib the closing.
Because ad-libbing is that voluntary skill of improvising and speaking successfully without a script.
Just like recovering when your notes fail.
Exactly. And our final one, question 8. Accidentally replying to the entire company email thread was a private joke was an absolute blank that he would likely never live down.
Is it A, classic facepalm moment, B, minor Freudian slip, or C, standard blooper reel?
Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer.
The answer is A, classic facepalm moment.
Yes, the dreaded reply all. It's situational, painfully silly, and causes maximum embarrassment without necessarily being psychological.
A perfect example of a facepalm.
Well, that wraps up the quiz. Mastering these specific phrases like flub, tongue-tied, and ad-lib really helps advanced learners sound much more natural when they're describing their own mistakes.
It gives you control over the narrative of your errors.
It does. And as a reminder, the SpeakDuo app is available on iPhone. If you're viewing our visual materials, you can just scan the QR code right now or visit their site to join live workshops with breakout rooms.
It's the perfect place to practice these exact idioms.
Definitely. Thanks for joining us for this critique of conversational mishaps.
See you next time.